Jessica, you are in a unique position in that you went into college with the ability to give people all your peers, all your friends, the folks that you went to college with. Not a lot of gambling going on in Madison, Wisconsin. I don't know how far away the closest pari-mutuel bet is, but it's a long way. What has been your experience when folks find out the background you come from and you try to tell them about what a positive experience it is? What sort of barriers or potential avenues have you identified?
Growing up in Wisconsin, our biggest barrier was the distance that it was to go to a track. Closest track is Maywood Park, 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Madison. But when you go and introduce yourselves to your classmates up there, their first question is, well, how many are you milking? And I say, well, I didn't grow up on a dairy farm. I said, I race horses. You can race horses? Where do you do that? That was the biggest question that everybody had. And as soon as they found out where it was and that I did it, and you can go to a county fair and see it, they were so excited, and I had so many people that wanted to go. And I think I come from a different perspective because I grew up running up and down the grandstands collecting pick-a-winner tickets with my mom. We were very involved in the county fair circuit. And when we had this thing called Owner for a Day, where you sign up and then we draw names for each horse in a race, so then that person owns that horse for that race. They cheer it on, their family cheers it on, their friends cheer it on. They get their picture taken in the winner's circle if their horse wins. And year after year, they'll come back to us and say, I still have that picture up in my dining room. They are fans for life, even if they come to that one county fair. And I think I'm more of making a fan and making people wanting to own horses and wanting to be involved as opposed to a gambling situation, just because of the environment that I grew up in. I now live in Kentucky, and it really hurts me when I go to the Red Mile on a day and I can count 50 people in the stands. Red Mile has so much history, and for 2 weeks in the Grand Circuit, they have a lot of people. But if we could somehow reach out like Keeneland does, they have a boutique meet, a month in the spring, a month in the fall, and it is packed. They have college students that are paying $3 to $5 to get in. They're paying the $3 for the program. They're paying $6 for an alcoholic beverage. It's the atmosphere. If I go into a bar and there's 10 people in there, I'm going to go to a different bar where it's more hopping, where it's more happening. And if you go to the Red Mile and you see 50 people in the grandstand and it's so spread out because it's a great big grandstand, you're not creating that buzz within yourself. When you go to Keeneland and there's 30,000 people there, you get excited, not only because the horses are there, but the people in the grandstand themselves are creating the excitement.
Now, Jessica, you also went over to the other side for a while. You worked at Thoroughbred Times, and you talk a lot about buzz. What do they do over there to create buzz that we're not doing?
Well, they spend a lot of money over there. You go around Lexington and you see billboards up. You see advertisements up. There's a buzz in thoroughbreds that's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And I think I can't quite figure out why there is such a difference between thoroughbred racing and harness racing, except that for some reason we are not out there. And I really can't point it out, because when I say I'm involved in horse racing, everybody always assumes I'm with thoroughbreds. Harness racing just always seems to take a second seat. And for me, you can be involved as an owner. You can go and jog your horse on a Saturday afternoon if you want to. Anybody can drive, anybody can train, anybody can do it. And with thoroughbreds, you pay somebody to train, and the trainer doesn't even jog your horse. You have an exercise rider, and it's so hard to become involved. But as soon as, I think we need to go more basic and more grassroots to get people involved, because once they sit behind that horse, they're hooked. Once they feel the lines, and as Ellen says for the Harness Racing Youth League, feel the wind in your hair, it's an experience that you can't get anywhere else.
Okay, well, Jessica, thank you. Now,